The field of early childhood education has evolved significantly in recent years, with an increasing focus on providing high-quality educational experiences for young children. One of the most promising developments in this field is the global exchange of knowledge, which has emerged as a new frontier in early childhood education. The global exchange of knowledge involves the sharing of ideas, research findings, best practices, and resources related to early childhood education across different countries and cultures. This exchange can take many different forms, including professional development programs, international conferences, collaborative research projects, and online networks. One of the key benefits of the global exchange of knowledge in early childhood education is the opportunity for educators to learn from one another and to gain new perspectives on teaching and learning. By collaborating with colleagues from different parts of the world, educators can gain a deeper understanding of the unique challenges and opportunities that exist in different cultural and educational contexts. Another important benefit of the global exchange of knowledge is the potential to improve the quality of early childhood education on a global scale. By sharing best practices and evidence-based approaches, educators can work together to develop more effective strategies for promoting children's learning and development. However, the global exchange of knowledge also presents some challenges, such as language barriers, differences in cultural and educational practices, and the need for effective communication and collaboration across different time zones and geographical locations. These challenges require creative solutions and a commitment to building strong partnerships and networks. The global exchange of knowledge in early childhood education holds tremendous promise for advancing the field and improving outcomes for young children around the world. As educators continue to collaborate and share their expertise, we can expect to see new innovations and approaches that will benefit children, families, and communities on a global scale.
I am privileged to introduce our next distinguished speaker, Dr. Adriana Vishny-Chiotis.
So, hello. I hope that amongst of you there are some people who already heard about World Organization of Early Childhood Education. And this year we are celebrating 75 year, so we will have 75th birthday. So I'm very glad that I can share this celebration with you and maybe to give you more insights about what the OMEP is, what is our role in early childhood education across the world, and how you can actually join us and help us to build a better world for our children. So when we discuss about OMEP, acronym OMEP is come from French language. So I don't speak French, so I wouldn't even try. But here you may see what it actually means. The OMEP has 3 official languages. French is one of them, and then English and Spanish, of course. So dedicated to this world orientation, the founders tried to incorporate at that time the languages that were spoken to most people on the earth. So I know that today it's quite a different picture of the languages, but we are still dedicated to these 3 languages, especially to one of them that is made our acronym visible. So I will just try briefly to go through these topics, and that's who we are. Then you will see that we are dealing mostly with advocacy, education, and knowledge. So I may inspire you or motivate you to join us. And I'm really glad because we are today here because of OMEP Slovenia, which is the youngest member of World OMEP, and I congratulate Claudia and her team for joining us and for very passionate work to become a part of a world organization. So I won't read all of that, but just to get some kind of picture who we are and what we are doing. So I would say that it is actually an ongoing journey that is lasting for 75 years. It started in just after the Second World War because there was a group of people who tried to find how to help children all over the world. And they tried to promote well-being, children's rights, and education in that period of time. And I'm sure that you will be also very when you are thinking about these values, you will see yes. But today we are also discussing about children's well-being. We are still trying to protect children's rights, and we know that early childhood education is very important from beginning. And finally, in 1948, the OMEP was established, and there were many representatives, and the UNESCO was involved in the beginning of the OMEP, and it still does. So we are still very close to UNESCO and to UN. I would just like to say that this area, the area of Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia Herzegovina, Serbia, we also have a representative. So the Tatjana Marinic from Zagreb was actually at that time at that conference. So we have some kind of heritage. And the role of OMEP is mainly to actively promote needs and rights of children and to remind governments that they should do something in order to ensure that children needs, children interest, children education will be on the satisfied level of production. So the quality of early childhood education. So we are trying to get as many support as we can for that. And when we talk about education, for example, we are organizing world and regional conferences. World organization actually give us possibility to compare, to be inspired by other countries, and to collect knowledge, especially educational knowledge from all over the world. So we can use that in order to promote children well-being. And we are international and non-governmental and non-profit organizations. So there is no money with us, and we are mainly volunteers in that organization. And we try to work in all aspects of early childhood education and care. That means that we are not just teachers or university teachers or any other professionals that are closely related to early childhood education, but we also have pediatricians, nurses, policy makers, so different profiles of people who want to ensure that children, especially children from 0 to 8, will have a better future. So currently we have like more than 73rd to be precise, national committees from all over the world. So we are working in 5 regions: Asia Pacific, Africa, Europe, Latin America, North America, and Caribbean. And this is organization, we have a special consultative status within UN, UNESCO, and ESOSOC. So members of OMEP actually have influence on global policy dedicated to early childhood and to the well-being of children. So if you want to be a part of OMEP, you may be sure that through our work, you will actually make a change, a global change. So we are those who were attending this year's World Conference on Early Childhood Education. That was in Tashkent in Uzbekistan and organized by UNESCO. And we were those who were developing the Tashkent Declaration about early childhood. So you really have influence. And I think that this is a great thing if you want to promote children's rights and children's well-being. So this is what we do. And I think that you can also Google and find, or I don't know, use some other provider to find what OMEP actually do. So I won't read that, but the last is encouraging the establishment of national committees. So as you may see, the Slovenia is one of those that were accepted this year to be members of OMEP. So while we are working on advocacy, as you may see, we have several um, very interesting activities. And I would maybe just focus on the third one, and that is that we were part of those who were developing United Nations Decade for ESD, and that we are those who were actually very actively involved in a global action plan for education for sustainable development. And I would say that we are working very hard in that especially area of education. And what is really important, while the decade for ESD were announced and conducted through years, we may see that education all over the world was oriented toward education for sustainable development, and that we were working with youngest children and with our teachers and parents and of course community to promote this idea. And what does it mean for us as early childhood educators and early childhood advocates? That means that if we manage to promote the action called Decade for Early Childhood Care and Education, we will have chance to place early childhood at the center of the global agenda and hopefully repeat what happens with Decade for ESD. So we can put focus and increase efforts for holistic protection of the rights of children, focusing on their care and education. And that's, I would say that this is the most important task that we are doing right now, especially after Tashkent Declaration, where we saw that no matter in what part of the world you are living, that the challenges in early childhood education are similar, with the lack of teachers, with the lack of enrollment, with the World Assembly and Conference, which will held in Bangkok in Thailand next year in July, and the forthcoming European Conference, which will held in Sweden in April. And for those of you who are joining us from other parts of the world, in December there is Asia Pacific Regional Conference, and there will be more conferences. And we are especially focused on education for sustainable development, but what I already said to you. So for those of you who are members of OMEP, any OMEP on the world, any national countries, you may join us in the call for awards in education for sustainable development. Each year, World OMEP give 5 awards for the teachers or professors or students with them, and one special award for the teacher students for their efforts and projects they actually conduct with the children. So it's award for the practitioners, for those who are trying to improve the quality of education in that particular field. And next week there will be a call for that. So if you are not join OMEP in any part of the world, and maybe you can try to join us with this through this call. Beside that, we also have three other very important projects was from the start that we are doing with together with UNICEF, and then Color Your Rights and Play in Resilience. And when we are talking about the education for sustainable development, I would also like to inform you that 5 OMEP national committees join together and develop application, the learning application for teachers, and to use this application to help them to work with the children and to enable children learning in the field of early childhood education. So I will share with you just to know how can you join this. It's absolutely free. So as you may see, the application is available in several languages. Currently, it's already in Croatian as well. So you may choose between Swedish, English, and French and Croatian, and then more to follow Spanish and other languages. So if you find this interesting, I encourage you to try it. It's absolutely free, so you can try it. You get some tasks and you get some evaluation, and it is quite oriented toward reflective practice. So you have to discuss with your colleagues and you have to collaborate, and then you have some kind of steps that you should follow. And last but not least, we have a knowledge area. We do have OMEP blog that you can read, and many practitioners and academics write for the blog. And we are trying to be very proactive with some challenges in the world and try to find answers through this text. We also have a new scholar award, which means that if you are new scholar, you may send a paper and maybe you can be awarded by this award. And we do have two publications. One of them is Theory into Practice, which is more oriented toward practice, and you may send papers, and you may also read what is happening in other parts of the world. And the last one is a journal, peer-reviewed journal published by Springer. If you are academic, you may be interested in that. Just a brief what we can do and what is happening currently in all over the world, and what we can do. So we basically don't have funding to change things, directly, because if we want to ensure what is written in Tashkent Declaration to ensure equitable and inclusive quality ECC services for all, well, we don't have money to build that services, to pay staff and to ensure that. Or we cannot also provide education, because as an organization we do trainings, but we are not dealing with initial education of ECCS staff. Or whatever you see from this part, and that's topics from Tashkent Agenda, innovation or policy management and something like that, we don't have a funding to change that. But on the other hand, we have a knowledge, we have a strong political influence, and we can advocate and we can educate. So this is something that we do in order to try to reach Tashkent Declaration aims. And I would just conclude with a sentence, because we are working in almost 70 countries on 5 continents, and we do have a power. So if we have a power, we can use it on different ways. So through OMEP, I think that is great to use it for the well-being of all our children. So thank you very much to give me opportunity to share what we are doing with all of you. And thank you very much, Claudia. to give us floor, because, you know, we can have voice, but if we don't have a floor to spread that voice and information, nothing will happen.
Yes, thank you, Adriana. I just want to say that as we reflect on this presentation, let us remember the importance of collaboration in our work and how it can positively impact early childhood education on global scale. You are most welcome to join OMEP organization.